Guys, I'm so annoyed right now. So, I've been sick for a couple of days, like a week now. The primary consequence of this being that I cough a lot. I'm still coughing. I'm probably going to cough here. But, it really bothers me when I can't stream, because you can't really stream when you're coughing all the time. But I managed to, eke out, just barely by the skin of my teeth, an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours of content that my poor, malnourished editors could use. And I was delirious the entire time. I'm hacking, I'm coughing. Chat is draining my IQ, as you guys love to do. Not a problem right now, though. Got you up on this one. I talked about a couple of things, the Supreme Court. Now there's more to talk about, but with the Miranda Sings thing specifically, I wanted to go back in retrospect and go, okay, well, how bad did I sound? And I looked at my own video, and oh my god, it's unusable. You guys, you guys watch that crap? Jesus. Normally when I talk about drama stuff, I kind of use it as a hook to build up to a point. I never actually got to the point. I just kind of ramble and peter off at the end. Oh, no. No. I have to add an addendum. Even though I'm still sick, I have to try it because I just finished listening to that. It bothered me. Also, I got some details wrong on the thing. Vermin wrote it all out for me in DMs. Vermin was like, hey, I know you're sick, but if you're going to cover this, here you go. And I'm just blearily, I'm my head is foggy. I'm just a fog of text on the screen. I read out whatever I think I'm reading. So, okay, you've seen the Miranda Speaks thing, I assume, if you're watching this. Why are my glasses dirty? Why? You saw the ukulele? The banger? Look at how... I was gonna say, look at how happy she looks. She doesn't look happy here. She doesn't look happy in the video. Probably for the best. She's not great. I feel like there were some things that I said that were just wrong. The group chats she was a part of, I'm pretty sure she got added to those. They were her fans who made these group chats lauding and celebrating her. They added her on a on a lark, and she just joined and turned them into her personal weirdo underaged fan grooming cult, which is suboptimal strategy personally for fan relations. Yeah, in my opinion, there's a lot of weird stuff, so many little details. Her asking them to post pics and sending them underwear, and there's a bunch of weird crap. I think I made a mistake too with the one the Trent Colleen's brother, the Trent did with turns out this guy's got a actual learning disability, by the way. Does not excuse in any way, shape, or form him messaging and grooming a 13-year-old, not even remotely. Thankfully, I haven't seen people take that angle. Normally with the ableism crap online. I mean, people, you know how it is with ableism, right? People they'll say anything. So it's well, mentally he was a 13-year-old. First of all, I don't know if that's true. Second of all, who cares? He was grooming a kid, whatever. But the kid, you remember those text messages, right? We talked about them. Trent Ballinger. This addendum's going to be just as bad, if not worse, than the original. Jesus Christ. I must sound awful right now. This thing. Oh, this is how Trent looks, by the way. Not to go to the lowest possible brow of well, what do you think the text child groomer guy looks like? But, Anyway, I think I said that Trent had this prolonged grooming convo with a 13-year-old, and that they had met via the Miranda Sings group chat. That's not true. They didn't meet through that. It's a meeting, them interacting, totally separate thing. To what extent, however, there's a connection between Miranda Sings oh god, having these grooming group chats and the brother having admittedly in the past continuously and repeatedly DM'd underage people. His primary claim to fame it being, the fact that he's related to Miranda Sings. Obviously a lot going on there. Very bad. Not good. Epstein's Island. Why is Pigeon screaming? Why? Editors, good luck. You have opinions? I personally do believe it's not a coincidence that you have pedo grooming shit from Miranda Sings and pedo grooming shit from her brother. Whatever. In that specific instance, wasn't a direct connection. So, okay. Blearily misreading all of that aside, to talk about what I actually wanted to talk about, which was the parasocial relationship stuff. Because all of this is built like entirely off of the logic and nature of parasocial relationships and how they can be abused and how people can take advantage of them and how people subject to them can be taken advantage of, right? Like that's the origin of so many of these stories that we get from YouTubers, content creators, Smash professional players, whatever else. And how that tends to go down. And I talked really briefly about this before, but I thought it was such like a weak message at the end because like I'm choking and gasping. I'm dying on stream live and I'm trying to get a message across. I still feel like I'm dying. Okay. I've had me a breather, even though I'm definitely going to cough again in like 3 seconds. We're living in an era of parasociality, more so than ever before in human history, right? Because not only are there more celebrities, just more famous people, and it's easier to interact with them than it was ever before with like live streaming, my medium being the apex of, wow, you can say racial slurs in chat and instantly get noticed by the person you're trying to get attention from. It's easier than it ever has been before. You used to have to go to a concert and throw, I don't know, beer cans at the person you were madly in love with. And what's more, like, in terms of, like, how attached we are to our screens as well, people are nonstop 24/7 consuming the content of people they have parasocial relationships with. And everyone develops them. Parasociality that's not like, the line for parasociality does not begin and end at, like, being a obsessive, like, creepy fan or idol, lover or whatever. They can emerge in anyone under, I think, a very wide range of conditions and possibly in like very minor ways that are pretty difficult to detect. See, I hate how I talk when I'm trying not to cough. So frustrating. If you're watching this right now, you almost certainly have some kind of parasocial attachment to somebody. Not necessarily me, but if you're internet savvy enough to be watching these YouTube videos, that means there's probably something. It could be anything. It could be a video game guy. It could be a music guy. It could be a porn star. It could be somebody who crushes stuff with a hydraulic press. And nobody wants to believe they have that because it's innately like a position of weakness to acknowledge that. Like you're essentially saying, well, I have a disproportionate investment in somebody, oftentimes somebody who doesn't even know me. It's a weird thing to admit, but it's so ubiquitous, right? But people don't talk about it. Obviously, there's like the normal bullshit, which is, remember that, there are people just like you. Be reasonable and realistic in your assessment and proportionality of how much they care about themselves and other stuff in their life, and don't be a weirdo freak. Great audio, great stream, normal stuff like that. But I don't think people talk about like the day-to-day, like how to manage that in a way that involves being introspective about the fact that you feel that way and why you feel that way. And all this is adult stuff, right? Like Miranda Sings and her brother going after like 13-year-olds. 13-year-olds can't do introspection. 13-year-olds are idiots. They're stupid. Their brains are small. Tiny. You can't expect that from them. But we, adults, like, broadly, if you're older than 13, can expect that anyone of that age, anyone you know, or just broadly, socially, is going to have those issues. And I think the discussion has to be a little more nuanced, like across the board, than, I guess, the old, like, don't be obsessive, don't freak out over them, remember, like, you're just a fan. Because everyone knows that, but it doesn't stop people, I think a lot of the time, from losing their shit when someone that they do have a parasocial interest in pays them any attention, right? Like, the line doesn't work. The warnings don't work. People still react. Because you, you can ask somebody, not like some crazy mega fan, just like a person who likes a content creator. Like, hey, you're just a fan. They don't like, just if they say hi to you or respond to a DM where you're like, hey, nice epic Street Fighter combo you did, bro. And they respond, they're like, hey, thanks. Like, that's not them proposing to you. You can say that and people will agree. They'll go, yes, we know. But they'll freak out a little anyway, right? Just, I don't know. I feel like the environment here is dangerous beyond the obvious stuff, like the Miranda Sings stuff. It's dangerous in like a more sinister underlying, we're forgetting what relationships even are kind of way. Something I would really love to talk about in a more expansive way if it wasn't for the fact that I'm pausing on every half syllable to not cough, which is incredibly frustrating. And from my perspective, it makes me feel like I sound like I'm trying not to cry. And it's really just bruising my masculine ego, It's really making me feel really, really feeling like I sound like a gay baby. I hope you get the point. When I'm not coughing anymore, I'll stream and I'll talk about everything in perhaps slightly more detail than I'm capable of right now. Like the Supreme Court decision with gay people, fun stuff like that. Right, just something about rewatching that video just bothered me. I didn't end it off properly at all. Okay, I'm closing this. Get me out of here. Get me.